going on? Just before 5:30, Tuesday, February 24th. Welcome inside the channel. It's brought to you by my friends at FanDuel and Preston Automotive Group. Glad you guys can be with me. If you could, on the way in, please like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership this offseason. I'll get to as many super chats if and when they come in. You can call in via the guest line, which is pinned right now in my live chat as always. And I am here. It's day 2, the Indianapolis 2026 NFL Scouting Combine. Logistics have been a challenge, as they always are, trying to kind of spend and split up my time accordingly based on all the events and the happenings and activities. But I will be going back and forth between the hotel room and right down the road, the Indiana Convention Center, where a lot of the activity surrounding the scouting combine is occurring and taking place, and all the interviews and you name it. And speaking of interviews, there were a couple today that certainly warrant your attention from a Ravens perspective. This morning, Eric DeCosta got it all started with his 15-minute allotted podium session, media availability. Jesse Minter then followed at 12 noon. Sarah and I spoke about both of those extensively on the vault this afternoon. And then they went on a little bit of a media tour, or at least Jesse did. He sat down with Rich Eisen, and that's where I wanted to begin tonight. Not only is there some Tyler Linderbaum discussions to be had, but I thought that Jesse was really enlightening about his Lamar Jackson visions and how he views Lamar entering year 9 and how he wants to build around Lamar, how he wants to protect Lamar, how he wants to utilize Lamar Jackson's skill set. So that's where we'll begin. We'll also talk again about the biggest elephant in the room, I think, here outside of the Lamar Jackson contract extension and the negotiations that Eric spoke about earlier today. But that's Linderbaum. Because if Tyler Linderbaum, much like Ronnie Stanley a year ago, if Ronnie had hit the open market as a pending free agent a year ago, right around now, he would have been paid and paid handsomely. Probably a lot more than the Ravens would have been willing to or able to. And I think you can make the case that a year later, Tyler Linderbaum, while on a different point of his career, qualifies as a very similar candidate, meaning a candidate to be paid a lot and reset the market comfortably at center, which is currently owned by Creed Humphrey in Kansas City at $18 million per season. So again, will he follow suit as Ronnie did and not even hit the open market? Eric DeCosta gave an update on where those negotiations stand as of earlier this morning. But first, let's talk Jesse Minter. And before we do, and throw to this one of him on Lamar, what about expectations? What about the standard? What about the pressure? I thought you guys would appreciate this, beginning with this clip, and maybe just how refreshing it is to have a new voice at the helm in Baltimore.
Ravens fans to have the highest expectations possible, which is to win the last game of the year. We want to internally create standards and create operating procedures that allow us day by day to chase that allow us to get a little bit better each day, not worry about the end result right now, but really focus on the process of getting a little bit better at a time. Right now is the time to build a team, through free agency, through the draft, through the offseason program. And then when we go out on the field in September, that we're ready to represent our great fan base, put a product out there they can be excited about.
And the defensive side of the ball, what are you going to do?
Yeah, we're going to play Ravens defense. Historically, this franchise has been the bar for defense in the National Football League, I would say. We plan on getting back to that, and we plan on doing it very quickly.
You heard the man starting to talk his talk, all right? He's been very careful with his words, I'd say, throughout this initial process, and maybe even a little tentative or a little bit quiet. Quiet's probably not the right word, but soft-spoken, certainly not lacking for confidence, lacking belief, lacking intelligence. But a first-year head coach sure comes with first-year nerves. And you don't know what you don't know. But I think what we all know and what we just heard, he ain't backing down from lofty expectations. He wants those expectations placed. He wants those expectations to be consistent. and he's not shying away from it at all. Quote, we want the Ravens fans to have the highest expectations possible, which is to win the last game of the year. We want to internally create standards and operating procedures that allow us day by day to chase that. We're going to play Ravens defense. Historically, this franchise has been the bar for defense in the National Football League. We plan on getting back to that, and we plan on doing it very quickly. Pretty convincing stuff there from Jesse Minter, but hardly the most enlightening interview of the day. Here he is again with Rich Eisen talking about his future visions for Lamar Jackson at the quarterback position.
An interview room with you at one point?
We were on a Zoom.
Okay.
And so that was cool. He wanted to hear my vision, for him, the offense, the team.
What is that that you're willing to share?
Yeah, I think it's a really well-connected team that plays team football, that cares about each other, that plays for each other on the field, an offense that takes advantage of his skill set, but also has plays off of plays off of plays. It's a very systematic approach that we can take some pressure off of him in the run game by handing the ball to Derrick Henry as many times as possible.
You had a big smile on your face as you said his name.
Excited about that.
Right.
And so really just building a system that allows him to thrive and be the MVP caliber player that he's been.
Run more?
I don't know that he needs to run more. I actually think there's times where he can run less. If you build an offense that takes advantage of the under center, the downhill run game, now that opens up a lot of boots and play actions and plays. And then, the great quarterbacks have that ability on the key play to execute the second play. So the first play is maybe not there. It's not the perfect play call. Now he can take advantage of that with his athleticism, his skill set. That's what he's always been able to do.
Yeah.
And will continue to be able to do.
Which is, listen, I understand the sensitivity of this question, or this subject matter with him about running. We're here in Indianapolis where he refused to run purposely. And it made sense where it's just like, hey, you want a quarterback? I'm your guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ozzie Newsome and the Ravens were the ones who said, we get it. We're going to trade up in the first round and get that 5th year of contractual control. We believe in you, and we're going to get you up and running, literally and figuratively. But I mean, he is in this league where the two-way threat, you as somebody who's, built to try and stop that stuff, knows how much of an advantage it would be to you to get him to do both. And the question is how do you do it? Does he want to do it? Do you want to tell your new OC, we have to do it? And that's the question that I'm wondering about.
I think there's high leverage moments where the quarterback's willing to do what he needs to do to win the game or win the play or whatever it might be.
Right.
And then I think there's times where you got to, this is a franchise player. This is a guy you want to be the quarterback for a long, long time.
Yes.
And so there's a health element and a protection element that needs to be in place to where he's not taking some of the hits that he doesn't need to. So I think it's a great balance there. You want him to be what's made him great. I think you look at Mahomes and Josh Allen and all those type of quarterbacks that can make that second play. And so he's certainly up there, in that stratosphere. And again, it's like, can we make the offense help him? And then to where when he does have to do that, he has that opportunity to do that.
That right there may be his best answer to date, his most enlightening answer to date. And it has to do with none other than Lamar Jackson. Quote, I don't know that he needs to run more. I actually think there's times where he can run less if you build an offense that takes advantage of the under center, the downhill run game. We know that the running back room will consist of Derrick Henry for certain, at least for the next couple of years. Justice Hill, potential cap casualty. Keaton Mitchell is a restricted free agent. We'll see what his future consists of, and we'll see if they try to retool through the draft at that position. Now that opens up a lot of boots and play actions. I think there's high leverage moments where the quarterback's willing to do what he needs to do to win the game. This is a franchise player. There's a health element and a protection element that needs to be in place to where he's not taking some of the hits he doesn't need to. Guys, I think we all understand that for Lamar to continue to extend his career, to live in the name of longevity and stability and consistency, then he's going to have to be protected. He is an all-time great, I think, at protecting himself. But what about those around him? Because that was an area that lacked in 2025. And based on, as you read all the tea leaves this offseason with this new regime getting set, they are very aware that the trenches better be, has to be, will be a priority this offseason.
Oh, it's an O-line, D-line driven league. When you look at the last few, just look at the Super Bowl winners of the last couple of years. I think that's really where you start, is like, how have these teams won that final game? And 2 years ago, it was the Eagles, like O-line, D-line driven. This year, Seattle, same deal. So I think that's an area that you're always looking to get better. I think there are some good pieces there. And so it'll be about coaching them up, developing them more, and then adding some pieces to help us get to that level.
It's an O-line and D-line driven league. We've seen that with the last two Super Bowl winners. Philadelphia and Seattle have absolutely dominated those games and dominated the seasons leading into those Super Bowl contests, winning the trenches. The ability to get to the quarterback, the ability to consistently protect the quarterback. And that was not the case on either side of the ball this past year in Baltimore. To the guest lines we go. They're cooking tonight. Oscar, Trey, and Nick is my 1-2-3 batting lineup to start things off. Appreciate you guys for being with me tonight. 90 seconds on the clock across the board. We're talking NFL Combine. We're talking Jesse Minter, Lamar Jackson's visions, Tyler Linderbaum, which I haven't had a chance to get to yet. Will he reset the market? Yes. Will he reset the market in Baltimore? That remains to be seen. Oscar, what say you, brother? Welcome to the program. Good to have you back.
What's up? I'm not going to take the whole 90 seconds this time. I'm just curious. We're talking about, of course, trenches, and I'm just curious where you would rank priority-wise the needs. At number one, I have resigning Lamar. I think that's if that doesn't happen, I don't know. Then I have resigning Linderbaum. I have edge as number three. Number four, I have interior offensive line, and then at five, I have wide receiver.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, off the top of my head here, it's pretty self-explanatory for why Lamar would be one.
Yes.
I agree with you with Linderbaum being two. And then your third was interior
Edge.
offensive line or edge? Okay.
Edge.
To be quite honest with you, because of the guard play last year, I think I'd probably have to it'd be retooling that position, whether it be in-house with Emery or drafting or free agency. And then four to me would probably be pass rush. And then five, let me think. Is Zay Flowers worthy of the fifth priority there? Safety number three, probably. Because again, Zay Flowers, yes, he's extension eligible, but that doesn't mean that they're on.
Oh no! I'm saying adding a wide receiver. I'm not saying resigning Zay Flowers. The other thing that I'm seeing is, as I look at this, 4 out of the 5 things that I have on my list here are offense.
I gotcha. Yeah, well, pass rush obviously has to be in there. I think you could have a conversation between safety number 3 and wide receiver for the fifth priority, but that's just because Bateman's under contract right now. We have no idea whether or not he's in their plans in 2026 and beyond. There's a lot of trade buzz out there within some of these outlets that think he might be a worthy package. Not a player for player deal, but will he find himself in a package?
Seen him with AJ Brown for AJ Brown, Bateman in a second rounder. I would do that.
It's the conversation is, would it be best for both parties to have a change in scenery? And I think there's a conversation to be had about that. So,
absolutely.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate the call, man. Yeah, you too. Thank you. Trey, you ready to roll, brother? Let's get Trey on the program. And before we do, I'll just go ahead and throw this up there. If you haven't already heard from earlier today, Eric DaCosta, right off the bat, his press conference, had this to say about the contract extension talks. And ongoing negotiation between himself and Lamar. Again, not Lamar's camp, not Lamar's agent, but Lamar. Makes for a unique one.
As know, Lamar and I have an agreement. We handle business kind of in-house internally, as you all know. That worked well for us the last time, and we will continue to have that policy moving forward. Have spoken to Lamar about a lot of different things over the last month. He's been very engaged. As I said, he was a big value to us in the coaching search. But we'll continue those conversations moving forward.
No surprise there in terms of how he chose to handle the question right off the top of today's media availability. Back to the guest lines we go. We're talking about a number of things in the Ravens' future, and we're just over 2 hours out from the collective restarting tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern. Cole Jackson, Jeff Zrebeck, and myself. Jeff and I will be in person, by the way, here in Indy, which should make for some fun commentary. Trey, 90 seconds on the clock. Good to see you, brother. What you got for us tonight?
Hey, how's it going, Bobby? Supposed to be coming down there maybe Friday, so we'll see how this goes.
Good boy.
Yeah, I had two questions. First question, I want to say, do you take the words from what EDC said? Like, you know how EDC uses keywords. So a lot of people in the Ravens community already on the Twitter sphere is already getting upset because he said, oh, we're not going to be big spenders in free agency. But keyword he used was big spender. So I'm thinking like, oh, yeah, so he's meaning not to spend a lot on one player. But he could just spread that wealth around.
Oh, where'd our guy go? What, are you getting a call or something? Sometimes when people are calling in and they get a FaceTime or something, they end up going dark on us, which is exactly what Trey has done to us. Oh, my. And it's more than dark. He just bounces all together. Not sure where he was going with that, but why do I feel like it was like, what position will EDC spend on? No idea. But why the hell would it not be edge rusher? Right? Or guard. Potentially guard. And there he goes. 3, 2, 1. Down he goes. And he calls in at the buzzer. Just at the buzzer. Should we give him a second chance? Should I throw a softball his way? 90 seconds back on the clock, just because I like you.
I won't use the rest of the 90. But yeah, it was a phone call. But keyword big spender. So I think he will just spread the wealth around. That was one question. Then the second question was, it was something that was talked around in spaces today, was that would you see the Ravens making that trade up for a Ruben Bain? And the biggest discussion was like, hey, if we can have opportunity to move up, get Ruben Bain after once he gets past Cleveland, if he gets past Cleveland, just put in a first round, third round, and fifth in Bateman. Is that something that you would think about doing?
Yes.
And that was a huge discussion.
Yeah, I'd consider it. I mean, I have a hard time believing they're gonna move around. I
agree. But if you're not losing too much draft capital, I could see EDC just doing something if it's not losing too much draft capital. And you're swapping, you're still keeping your first round pick. You're just moving up.
Yeah.
You're just getting a closer pick.
I'll believe it when I see it, Trey. I'll believe it when I see it. If anything, those mother effers are trading back.
Yeah, they just love draft picks, don't they? But yeah, man, I'll see you. I might be down there. If I do see you, I'll see you.
Hit me. Thanks, Trey. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of scenarios, draft scenarios between now and then, certainly. A scenario that played out earlier is the whole OTAs conversation. For whatever reason, that has become like a hot button item over the years in Baltimore. Hot button item. Now, some of that's related to Lamar's lack of involvement. And there have been plenty of years where Lamar has chosen to do his own thing on his own timetable outside of the facility for voluntary organized team activities. But notably, when they brought in Todd Monken and installed a completely new offense in 2023, Lamar was there. He's also there sporadically for a portion of OTAs in recent seasons. And maybe if history repeats itself, he'll find himself there coming up a couple months from now when things get started in May. Eric was asked about it, meaning DeCosta, because of the fact that Declan Doyle's comments were blown completely out of proportion last week by the national media audience. Here's how Eric chose to handle the question related to future OTA participation, knowing that it is a new regime underway in Baltimore.
You know what? Those are voluntary. Lamar's a two-time MVP. I think he knows what it takes to get ready for the grind of the NFL season. He's proven he can do it at a very, very high level, and I have no preference.
Okay, no preference. And again, it's not like he's contradicting what Declan Doyle said on this discussion, because again, words were put into Declan's mouth. Let's be very clear about that.
Expect them to be here, and certainly it is voluntary. And so, but it's also, you know, if you want to say that you're going to win a championship, you want to say that you have championship standards and those are your goals and your expectations, certainly that's going to take work, that's going to take collaboration, that's going to take the beginning of building the relationship with their coaches, other players, you know, starting off this next regime on the right foot. And so that would be those guys getting in here, us being able to work with them hands-on and be able to kind of get this thing going in the direction that we want to, and you know, making improvements so that we set ourselves up where when we come back in for training camp, we hit the ground running. We already have kind of shared knowledge, shared language, and we're able to go right to work.
Did anybody hear anything combative there? Anything critical? Anything related to Lamar specifically? No. So the fact that it was even a conversation today is kind of ironic and kind of humorous, but that's how it goes. So anyway, hopefully he's there. I think obviously the majority of us would hope that's the case. The newness, the message that it sends, and if nothing else, one less talking point to get to astronomical levels from a national standpoint. Appreciate you guys for being with me tonight. Collective will air tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern. Looking forward to catching up with Cole and Jeff, so go check that out if you don't already plan to. Back to the guest lines we go in the meantime, and we still have to talk about Tyler Linderbaum. And here's the update on him since we were last live earlier. And this comes from NFL insider Jordan Schultz. He notes that the Ravens remain hopeful they can get a deal done with Linderbaum before he reaches the open market, just as they did last year with Ronnie Stanley. Linderbaum's generating a ton of buzz from teams I've spoken to. If he reaches the open market, the expectation is he could land a deal north of $22 million annually. Right now, as we discussed earlier on the vault, the market is set by Creed Humphrey in Kansas City at $18 per year. So when Eric DeCosta referred to the market-setting offer that's been put on the table, he didn't have specific numbers. Is it that north of where Creed is? I don't know, but it's going to be really, really interesting to see just how much loyalty comes into play here, as maybe it did a year ago with Ronnie Stanley when he was just weeks away, days away from hitting the open market prior to the Ravens and their former first-round pick striking a deal so that he could remain Lamar Jackson's blindside protector for the years to come. Are we entering a similar period, a similar situation? Different points of their career, but maybe. Tyler has always been genuine, to use Jeff Zrebiek's words, about his desire to be a Raven, to remain a Raven. We'll see if he's extended as a Baltimore Raven. One executive told Schultz that, quote, the center is the extension of the coach for most of those teams, and he's 25, a three-time Pro Bowler, and just getting started in his career. I think we all know that. Sure, was it a down year? Yes, it was. But he's a perennial Pro Bowler. He is as tough as it gets. Iowan tough, durable, great rapport with Lamar. DeCosta not only talked about Linderbaum, but the priority that is fortifying the trenches earlier this morning?
First of all, Tyler's a guy that I have tremendous respect for. Obviously he's proven to be, in my opinion, the best center in the league. We've been having conversations. We've had conversations since the end of the season. And at this point in time, we've made him a market-setting deal, proposal, offer, and hopefully we can get something done with him between now and the start of the new league year. Well, I think we started that last year. We took a couple guys we were excited about last year on the offensive line, in Cordell and Emery. We're excited to see what those guys bring to the table this year. No guarantees, but we're excited to see where those guys are, and we're not done yet. I think it was tough to see Nnamdi go down last year. Left us probably a little vulnerable. We did see some guys step up. It was great to see Travis emerge like he did, especially the second half of the season. We were fortunate to be able to get a deal done with him. But I think, we've always been a team that has valued the importance of, quote unquote, the trenches and being up front, which is one of the reasons why we want to bring Tyler back if we can. Certainly a focus for us is you look at your roster and you see the ebbs and flows. You lose players. We've lost some offensive linemen the last couple of years. We've lost some defensive linemen. We've got 11 draft picks, I think, and we should have a good opportunity to add players.
You can add all you want, but when you already have someone in-house who the majority of the league would and will covet if he hits the open market, you got to find a way to keep him in-house. And Jesse Minter agrees.
Earlier, I think he's the best center in the league. I think he's one of the best interior linemen in the league. Major part of the team here. Somebody we'd love to have back. He's obviously in I feel like players, there's the rules are what they are as far as like your contract and earning free agency. So I respect all that. I think he knows how we feel about him, and that we'd love to have him back. I think he's a major piece of our offense. I think he fits really well into the direction our offense is headed. So a guy that we'd love to have back, but certainly respect the idea of free agency as well.
I'm sure. And Tyler might respect the idea of him getting north of 22. But the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Could a team like Vegas be willing to spend on him like that? And when I say greener, who's to say that it's going to be green in Vegas next year? I get it. New regime, number 1 overall pick. Does that yield results immediately? Particularly when you think about the framework that the Ravens have in place. If I'm Linderbaum, I want to have a grand view of my decision process here and with the ultimate goal of winning in mind, while also maintaining the fact that he's just coming off his rookie deal. This is an important moment in time for him and the generational wealth that will come along with this record-setting extension that ultimately will be signed one way or another. It's just a matter of where. Where and what, figures-wise. We'll see. And just how north of $18 million per year is Eric DeCosta's offer? When you look at this, as I get back to the Gets lines here in just a second, when you look at the market, that Creed Humphrey is a top in Kansas City at 18 annually. What is the market-setting figure that Eric DeCosta referred to earlier? And is it in that $22 million range that Schultz is hearing rumblings on that he would get elsewhere? And if it isn't, and if it's in that 19 range or anywhere south of that, is that enough to still convince Tyler that you value him? And does Tyler see the priorities and the visions in place for team building, continuity? Doesn't have to move. He just got engaged recently. So there's a lot of factors going into play here. You got the Iowa-Baltimore connection. There's been a pipeline for years. How much does that, if anything at all, mean to Tyler? Because this is setting up similarly the way in which it did a year ago with Ronnie Stanley, if you ask me. What say you guys? Guest lines are popping. Here's my batting order. In the leadoff spot, it is Nick Marty, big league chew type guy, Wooden or metal bat for Nick? What do we think? Anyway, in the on-deck circle is Juice Box, although he'd be more of a cleanup guy, I feel like. I just get the sense that he's got the lumber that he brings to the table. Pause. Okay, let's go to the guest lines. Nick is with us. 90 seconds on the clock. Yeah, Drado, yeah, I know you're already clipping my ass over there, aren't you? Nick, welcome to the program. 90 seconds on the clock. What's going on, brother? Mr. Big League Chew, you are muted at the moment, Mr. Big League Chew. Do you have your Oakleys on as well? How about it? Well, Juice, looks like you're getting your moment. That's what he gets for trying to call in this program from the road, huh? Nick, we'll try you again. Juice Box, welcome to the program, brother.
What's up, man?
Cleanup hitter. That's what you are.
The wood comment though, you made my wife choke up a little bit.
You can't be having me on speaker like that. Come on now.
Man, that was a good one. I'm glad EDC took up for Lamar with that stuff, because it seemed like sometimes it don't matter what I don't understand is how can you be as quiet and private as a person Lamar is, but always have somebody taking a shot or throwing something at it. I don't understand it, but I hope that I do hope they get Tyler locked up. And as far as the draft, man, I'm with Sarah, man. Please, for the love of Christ, can we not get any DBs? I don't want no more DBs. Like we've had enough. We still haven't got Malachi Starks up and running yet, so no DBs. But really, I got a question for you. Where are you staying at? What? Because you're in Indy. I'm in Indy. I'm on the south side. I'm like 10 minutes from downtown.
Oh,
but
no,
where you staying downtown?
Yeah, right on. God, what the hell? What's my address here? I'm in Le Meridian.
Oh, okay. Well, before you go west on 16th Street and hit up Long's Bakery. I don't know if you ever had it, but it's the best donuts in Indy. So enjoy your time.
Appreciate you, Juice. I'm going to be going to that cigar bar, Burn. I know that.
I don't even know where that is, to be honest with you. I don't leave the south side unless I absolutely have to.
Me and Chris Horton were chilling in there with a stogie last year. That place is.
Where's that at?
Right around the corner from me.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So,
all right, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the recommendation. And please do not put me on speaker in front of your missus. You just never know what the hell I'm going to say. I hate a terrible first impression now. I'm no stranger to it, though. I know that. By the way, shout out. Should I say this or not? No, I'm not going to say it. Maybe I will later on. Last year's crush. Indiana crush. I'll get to that in a second. Eric DaCosta said he would absolutely like to re-sign Isaiah Likely. I think we can all probably agree, based on recent weeks, based on the reality, based on the cap situation, and based on who they've paid at his position already, that's a tall task and probably pretty unlikely, especially when Isaiah himself is on the record for saying this earlier this month in San Francisco.
Like right now with your agent. I mean, what do you guys sit down and strategize? Do you have a board and look at the teams that need tight ends?
Yeah.
Like what, how does this process work for all the people that don't know?
I'd say more so it's, I mean, with my agent, what I told him was I just want to be able to, blossom. Like, I feel like, the last couple of years I've had a great, vet in Mark Andrews, where it was he's taught me everything to be, a star caliber tight end, to the point where it's like now I feel like, I just want to be on a team where I could just get out there and, help a quarterback, help a team, be able to put as much points to the board as possible. So, just giving that information to my agent and letting him basically go to the teams and be an agent. I mean,
yeah. So look, I get it. It's fun this time of year. Lamar hops on social media and typically gets some sort of conversation started here based on his actions, which he tagged the Ravens account with some prayer emojis and a purple heart in response to this Bleacher Report gridiron question. Isaiah Likely will be a blank, and he tagged the team. I just, man, yeah, I can Isaiah come back on a 1-year type deal and then maybe they cut Mark in 2027? I guess. But that'd be back-to-back years of gambling if you're Isaiah Likely, and the first gamble didn't pay off. And he's 25 years old. He's got to make his bag at some point here. Tomorrow is not promised in this freaking league. So I'd be concerned for him if he were to take that. But obviously the Ravens would be better for it. And you already know that Declan Doyle wants to utilize a ton of 12 personnel. At least that was the case in Chicago. And that was the case prior to Declan's arrival in Baltimore as well. They want to run those multiple tight end sets, and they'll continue to do so whether Isaiah Likely's in Baltimore or not. Hopefully, if he's not and he gets paid handsomely once he hits the open market, they'll be able to extend a Charlie Kohler and then go add on with a day 3 tight end, knowing that Mark Andrews has been extended and still factors into their plans. And he is someone, by the way, that was spoken about at length today by Eric DeCosta.
We were in a little bit of a jam last year at that position where we had nobody coming back. And we had conversations with Mark. We had conversations with Isaiah. And we were able to get a deal done with Mark at the end of the season or near the end of the season that we felt really good about. We expect him to get back to himself and be the player that he can be. He's been one of our great players over the last, whatever it's been, how many years? 8 years, I guess, 7 years. And he's still got a lot in the tank. And we think he's going to be a playmaker for us this year. And we're glad we got the deal done.
They're banking on that in some ways. Again, they're not a stranglehold. They're not victim to a stranglehold, certainly not. But they are banking on the reemergence of Mark Andrews. Back to the guest lines we go. Appreciate you guys for being with me tonight. The Collective will be live tonight. Looking forward to it with Jeff and Cole, 8 o'clock Eastern. Jeff and I will be in a conference room together, shoulder to shoulder, which should make for some hilarious entertainment. Mr. Mexico is with us tonight. By the way, what the hell is going on down there in recent days? Holy shit. Hopefully Manny Mania is staying safe. I also don't know what island that was on or some tropical environment where the cartel was. I mean, that was, well, what the hell? Manny can tell us more because I really haven't been paying attention that much aside from a few tweets that came down my timeline. Are you well? Are you safe?
Yes, I'm safe. I'm well. And what's happening? It's happening upstate near the border.
Okay. Is that tropical? It was some tropical.
It's near the coast, but still, the whole thing has spread to the whole country. So everybody's on high alert, especially security businesses have been noted.
Gotcha.
So
glad you're in one piece. Kind of chaotic.
Thanks.
And with that, we begin your clock.
Before the timer.
Oh, here
questions.
we go. See, this is you give him an inch, he takes
I know,
a mile, folks.
I know. But hey, 2 questions. How's your health? And second of all, I see a little competition.
Look at this little red. There's a little ginger beard, right? Thank you for asking. Health is good. I thought that I was going downhill for a 3rd time in as many months because my brother showed up on Thursday from Baltimore to do a remote vacation, watch Tilly, and hang out with me. And literally within like 12 hours of his arrival, he went down with flu bug stuff. So I was like, you got to be shitting me. We're sharing a studio apartment for the weekend, and I'm leaving at 6 a.m. on Monday. But luckily, I fended it off, was popping all kinds of different drugs and vitamins for Dre Dog and all that. So, yes, thank you. I'm good. And whatever this facial hair is probably won't be very much longer because, as we all know, I simply cannot grow facial hair. With that, 90 seconds on the clock for you, Manny Mania.
All right. I really hope the negotiations with Lamar are going well because central piece for this offense is not just him, it's Tyler Linderbaum. I know he wants Isaiah Likely, but he more than likely is gone. So Lamar has to be content with, you know what? I just got Linderbaum. And signing Andrews was the mistake I think EDC made preemptively. Like, okay, I couldn't negotiate with Likely. Let me secure a tight end. It's like, no. You're knowing the decline that Mark Andrews is having since last year. So you cannot secure Mark just because of his early years. Look at the second contract that he got. He wasn't that much productive than in the first, 4 years?
The duration of the contract?
Yeah, like
for
the
Mark?
first one for Mark. I think it was 4 years. So
the first one, yeah, off the top of my head, 4 or 5.
yeah, so I think that was a preemptive thing. So and free agency, I think it's either a smokescreen to get AJ Brown or getting McGovern.
Connor McGovern, Buffalo. By the way, the most recent was 3 years, $39.3 million. Most recently.
Okay, yeah. So because he was what, round 4?
Mark was was he round 4?
I'm not.
Because Hayden Hurst was the first tight end booked.
Yeah, he was a miss.
You think he was a miss?
I think it was a miss because the chemistry was more so with Flacco at that time.
Third round.
But also, he wasn't that developed once he got hurt because it was all Mark Andrews. When he got back, we didn't use him practically. So
Mark was a third rounder. So time will tell, brother. Appreciate the call, man.
All right. Stay safe over there.
Yeah, you do the same, please, for all of us. Thank you.
All right.
Guest lines are open and being used nicely tonight, so thanks for the calls. Appreciate Preston Automotive Group for the continued support of the program. If you guys haven't already done so and you are in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle in 2026, I would love for you to work with my friends at Preston. You can give them a call today at 410-673-7171. If you click on the link that I have included in the show notes, which brings you to PrestonMotor.com, there's a specific Bobby Baltimore section for you where we outline a couple specific deals that are exclusively available to you as a subscriber. One is cashing in a $500 credit towards a new or pre-owned vehicle, goes directly towards it. 2 is buying 4 tires and receiving 50% off your alignment as a result. You can contact them by filling out this form right here. And when you do, you can choose one of the many dealership locations that they have available to you all throughout the DMV. Right now, the available inventory section has over 3,900 vehicles, and you can search based on your preferences by make, model, or keyword, price, vehicle condition, year, make, location. They do it all. Scan the QR code in the upper right-hand corner. That'll get you where you need to be. Go to my show notes or just simply type into your search box, PrestonMotor.com. I appreciate them for their continued support. I appreciate them for allowing me to have wheels in the form of my Bobby Baltimore 2023 Ford Bronco Sport. More Jesse Minter, who sat down with Rich Eisen in one of his several media obligations here today at the 2026 NFL Scouting Combine. And he had this to say about being John Harbaugh's successor in Baltimore.
In a sense that I was there, so
right.
I know the little bit of the ins and the outs about how things operate. I know what John stands for. There's a lot of similarities in the things that we stand for,
sure,
which is great. So there's a really good foundation there. And then it's on me now to kind of put my own spin on it, bring some new ideas, bring some new age things, and try to help us do what we want to do.
Can you give me an example of that? What is that?
You know,
give away your tricks, your trade.
Not
here?
really to give away the tricks, but I do think there's a relationship piece with the players. As a younger coach, that there's a relatability there with a lot of these guys.
Yes.
That I think is maybe one of my strengths and probably why I'm sitting here. So really look forward to just building connection, building relationships with the players, coaches, kind of have a younger staff overall than maybe what they've had.
Yes.
A lot of that's intentional. And so really just trying to build that connection with these guys to try to achieve what we want to achieve.
Interesting. So the youthful movement there, not that anything is groundbreaking listening to that, but there was an intentionality in the way that he constructed his staff from a youth movement standpoint. And Rich, as you'd expect him to, followed up on why that was the case.
Intentional that you got. I mean, your offensive coordinator is 29. For instance,
sometimes
right?
like change can be good and change can be embraced by players.
Yes.
And so when it's just different than what it was before, then there's almost a natural like, okay, this guy, we've kind of grown up with the same thing in the same era. Maybe the way that we communicate, maybe the way that we use technology, maybe the way that we embrace all the new age things can help lead to a strong relationship. And so a lot of that was related to hiring a young staff.
All right. I think we know, it's pretty clear why he was picked in Baltimore. And he's answering these questions in the most professional, calm way that you can. But I think that John Harbaugh's message got a little stale. I do. And I think there's a reason why Lamar didn't spend the 5 seconds that he could have at that final press conference after the Steelers' loss to back him up. I think he knew that it was time. Maybe John knew that it was time. And now in comes 42-year-old Jesse Minter, full of life, full of expertise, full of, hey, proof in the pudding from a defensive performance standpoint. And now the staff that he's put together as a result, headlined by 29-year-old Declan Doyle, again, was intentionally done. We'll see if it pays off for Steve Bisciotti and this Ravens organization. Appreciate you guys for being with me tonight. If you could like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, consider becoming a channel member or a gift-giving membership this offseason. I'd appreciate it. Now let's see what's going on at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Appreciate their support all of 2026, sponsoring this program. And tonight, an hour and 25 minutes out from tip in Cleveland, it's the Cavs and Knicks. Will Jalen Brunson go over 8.5 first quarter points? What about Karl Anthony Towns? Over 4.5 first quarter points? Donovan Mitchell, James Harden in on things as well. Go take a look. God, I forgot. I've been so bogged down by football coverage that I forgot James Harden was traded again. But go check it out. NBA odds across the board tonight. Philadelphia is actually here right down the road from me in Indianapolis. It's the Pacers and 76ers. That probably is a cheap ticket, knowing that the Pacers are really struggling without Halliburton all season. But appreciate FanDuel and, again, NBA odds and NBA betting, one of the many, and far from the only option that you have across all major sports leagues, including college basketball, which we are literally a week away from March Madness. Collective time, under 2 hours. I got to get a bite to eat with Jeff. I got to go set up our conference room center downstairs, and it will be pretty funny stuff tonight, I would think, knowing that Jeff and I will be shoulder to shoulder. Cole will be in Canada. The Collective, we rejoin you tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, live from Indianapolis at the 2026 NFL Scouting Combine. Thank you to Le Meridian for the continued support here in downtown Indy. They've accommodated my stay. They've housed me. I'm on the 12th floor. I just saw Mike Florio in the lobby earlier. It's been a great, comfortable experience, and I appreciate them for partnering up this week. What else did I have to tell you? Yes, there is a cigar bar right around the corner. And yes, Solo Dolo, there will be an old fashioned coming my way after the Collective tonight. And I look forward to that very much. Appreciate all you guys. Thanks for the love. Thanks to Preston Automotive Group. Thanks to FanDuel. Hope you guys would join the Discord server if you haven't already done so. If you'd like to donate to the program tonight, as some of you will occasionally reach out and inquire about, You can do so through Venmo or Cash App. The handles are up on the screen. Anything and everything is beyond appreciated, but never expected. Appreciate you guys. Collective tonight, hour and 45 out. The Vault rejoins things tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern. Looking forward to it.